Hi, I'm very glad to be talking to Meera today, and we decided to do this video because there's a very important topic that she came across, and we thought that we should spread this awareness. And just so that people understand what options are there, coming straight to the topic that we want to talk about, we want to talk about the living will. Now, this is something which I have also heard honestly, but even I don't know much about it. So let's start with asking Meera if you could just define us a little, about what it is and just so that we get an idea.
So Jaya, everybody knows what is a will. Now the new concept of living will has come up only in March 2019. So this is regarding the right, the dignity the right to die with dignity. That's the fundamental right of a person. So this is what the Supreme Court has recognized, and this is due to the landmark judgment of Aruna Shanbag. So everybody knows about it, and she was living in a very vegetative life for around 40 years. And that's been a long thing. So now during that time, the Supreme Court was approached by a third party, a journalist, and she pleaded for mercy killing for Shanbag.
Okay.
But that was not allowed by the court because they had to set up certain guidelines.
Right.
And that's when the court had a landmark judgment in March 2018 regarding living will.
Okay.
So living will
So
is
it's
a
recent
will.
thing.
It's absolutely recent, and people are not aware of it.
Right.
And it is actually necessary that every person should have a living will. And I'll tell you how it is. So living will is basically there are certain guidelines set up by the Supreme Court.
Okay.
Here, living will is made by the executor, that is a person who is terminally ill.
Okay.
The person has to be mentally and physically sound while making this will.
Okay.
Should not be forced or should not be given wrong ideas while making a will. Should be aware of what is the right of a living will.
Oh, okay.
Now, living will, there are people who ask me, living will meaning you can die on your own. Well, that is not it. It is a passive way of, in the sense, when there is a medical treatment being given to you by the doctor, and there is no possibility of reviving back.
Okay. When there is no recovery
There
at
is
all.
no recovery. When the doctors have given up, ventilators, you've kept on ventilators, all the medical treatment has been given to you, but you're sure that they cannot be revived back. During that time, the living will can be executed.
Okay, so instead of suffering and just being on a vegetable state, it's
Absolutely.
better you can choose to kind of let go of that life.
Yes.
Okay.
Die in dignity.
Okay.
So that's how it is. So it's a legal document which has to be registered.
Okay. Okay. So then there would be a lot of procedural stuff going on.
Yes. So because it's a new law, the guidelines have been set up by the Supreme Court, and the guidelines says that you can make a living will. You have to have two witnesses, independent witnesses.
Okay.
You have to have a guardian. Now the guardian has to be either your blood relative, that is your parents, your husband, your wife, your children, close relatives, and a close friend, a family friend.
I think the same people who are also your nominees who can become your nominees. Similar.
Yeah, similar. But only and only if these people are nominated as guardians, only then this living will can be registered.
Okay, so before you get into a state, you make a will and keep that these can be the people who can take a decision on.
Yes. Okay. And that living will have to be registered.
Okay.
Now that has to be registered with the judicial officer, the first class judicial officer. You will have to register there. You have to give a digital copy there. He keeps the copy with him. Also gives one copy to the municipality. Other copy has to be given to the physician, who also gives a note and a certificate stating your mental state and physical state is fine while making this will. So your physician is also having a copy of stopping the treatment. This decision, this decision is a very tough decision. So if the parents have already thought about it,
Okay.
and the parents have already given their decision or opinion about it,
Hmm.
you are just respecting their
Right.
or their wish.
Right. And if everything is well, then
Absolutely. Plus, this is not an urgent thing.
Correct. Correct.
You know, it's not that you're not giving them treatment.
Correct.
You will be putting them on ventilator.
Correct.
You will be giving them all life-saving drugs and
Correct.
medications, everything. Only when the doctor comes up and says, when they realize, the physician who has examined you prior, if the physician and the doctors with due consultation does not give you a surety of the person coming back to normal, or they have the doctors are never going to say that this treatment is not working,
Right.
because it's against their ethics.
Absolutely.
But still they are fair enough to tell you that this person he's not going to revive back, or he's in too much of pain. That is the time this living will comes. It is useful.
Oh.
Yeah. Plus, without the permission, they cannot stop the treatment. And that is precisely what happened in Shanbag's matter. They kept her on a ventilator and they couldn't stop it because there was no living will.
And she was for years.
She was there for 40 years. So she was stuck there. And of course, the only person who could have objected or who could have made the living will was the KM hospital people.
Okay.
Yeah. But then they chose not to do it. So this is what it is. The guardians have to be only the relatives. That nobody else can stand on. Nobody else can be a guardian unless you are related. Yeah. But then it is a good thing. Plus, even the financial burden is reduced because you are unnecessarily spending money over the treatment, which is not going to be useful.
Right.
So it also is a great help for the children and whoever who is going to be spending.
Now I just have a question in mind. Suppose if I have made a living will, but maybe my children want to still wait till the end. So that option also they have. Right?
Of course they have the option, but then that is exactly what happens,
But if it comes to it, then
it
at
comes
least
to it,
there is like a
Yeah.
some resource available, right?
Yes,
Just that.
Just that, yeah.
My God. So, anyways, anything else you would like to add, or anything that you think we've missed out, just so that people are.
So living will is something which is absolutely new, and people are not aware of it. So people should be aware. It is nothing. People still have a query. They still feel that if I make a living will, my children will not even treat me. So there are people who think like that. They say, they may stop the treatment in the beginning itself.
Right.
Well, that is not the case.
Okay.
Living will, because that is the reason the Supreme Court has made it difficult.
Right.
They have kept a judicial magistrate who will be watching you.
Okay.
He comes when you want to execute a living will. The judicial magistrate, the first class judicial magistrate, will personally come, will check whether the treatment has been on, for how long, whether it is worth stopping the treatment.
Okay.
This is discontinuing of the treatment.
Okay.
Yeah. So the other thing is there are guardians, then there are doctors, there are panel of doctors.
Okay.
So there is in the hospital there are panel of doctors who have they have a group of doctors who decide whether this case was fit for
taking forward or not.
Yes, for stopping the treatment.
Okay.
Yeah, so that is it. So you cannot decide it on your own.
Just
It's not a
randomly.
single person's decision. It's everybody together will have to. So proper care has been taken. You have been given enough opportunity to wait and also to take a decision.
Okay. Understood.
So that is it.
Got it.
So this is a progress, and we should make use of this law where the Supreme Court has taken steps. They have given a guideline, they have given proper, all the criteria which should be considered have been set up, and that needs a detailed discussion at a later stage.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, because it will be different, I think, case to case basis also. If we want to kind of go into the details of it, then I think we need like
Yes, because one more thing I would add is that for the living will, under which circumstances it should be stopped, the treatment should be stopped. There are criteria, and the living will has to be nailed writing. So as you rightly said, every case is different.
Correct.
So the treatments which should be stopped at what stage will have to be specified.
Exactly.
It cannot be a very random and a very casual statement.
Absolutely.
So there are people who are objecting to the fact of difficulty in registration,
Okay.
because yes, registration is a little difficult, registration process
Okay.
is a little difficult,
Okay.
but this is just the start.
Right.
This
right,
law will evolve, people will be able to access more, and it will be made easier
Right.
at a later stage.
And
Right
as
now,
it was, I think if we could, make this like a series and
True,
kind of
true,
pass it
true.
on, as in when you know, because I think a lot of people would want to. I mean, we wish the best for everybody, and
Yes.
it says while walking, everything in place, you should pass away. But if it comes to it, then at least we should know what are our options, and dying
Correct.
with dignity has to be something.
yes, that is the fundamental.
Yes, absolutely. So great, Meera, thank you. It was awesome talking to you today.
Thank you.
It was short, but yes, we would like to have a detailed understanding about this, and maybe once we release this videos, there might be questions which people have.
Sure.
Maybe we'll take it from them and move forward.
Absolutely.
So thank you so much.
Thank you.